Great news today. Guess what happened today? Kennedy gets on the ballot in another state, a crucial state. This is a very important state for many reasons, but he is now getting one step closer. He is now at the possible 270 mark, the infamous 270 mark. If this doesn't get him to qualify for this debate that's coming up here on the 27th, I'm not sure what will. And who knows where the future takes us, where all of this goes. But this is great news. So I'm going to pull this up and let us go take a look at the infamous 270. Right. You're now on the website, Kennedy24.com. This is going to be great. I'm so excited. And I just cannot hide it. Sorry, you can tell I'm stalling here. All right. Let's take a look at this map. Now, this map is what we're going to see. We're going to go here to the news, and in the news section, and we're going to go to the press. Okay, so the press section, we are going to see Minnesota. Kennedy ballot access exceeds 270 electoral votes after campaign submits Minnesota signatures. This is awesome. Okay, shut my audio. This is great. Let's go take a look at this. Just today, some great news again for all of you Minnesotans. St. Paul, Minnesota. The Kennedy campaign today announced it has submitted the required signatures to gain ballot access in Minnesota and surpassed eligibility for 270 electoral votes, a monumentous milestone for the campaign. This is tremendous. This is a tremendous victory for the campaign and the thousands of volunteers nationwide who have hit the streets with clipboards in hand and canvassed America to put Bobby on the ballot, said Senior Advisor and Ballot Access Director Nick Brana. Come November, for the first time in decades, everyone across the country will have an independent choice who will end the wars, break up the corporate state, and make life affordable. Today, volunteers traveled across the state to St. Paul to celebrate the submission of 3,330 signatures to get Kennedy on the ballot in Minnesota. Our volunteers, led by Mark Frescone and Dr. Drew Diddle, worked hard these past few weeks to ensure the North Star State has an independent option in November, said Minnesota Volunteer Coordinator Shauna Miller. The number of electoral votes required to win the presidency is 270. The campaign's aggressive ballot access operation has surpassed all its milestones to ensure the Kennedy-Shanahan ticket will be on the ballot in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. The ballot access operation is fully funded with more than $15 million raised. The Kennedy-Shanahan ticket is officially on the ballot in 9 states: Utah, Michigan, California, Delaware, Oklahoma, Hawaii, Texas, South Carolina, and Florida. It has collected enough signatures for ballot access in 10 other states: New Hampshire, Nevada, North Carolina, Idaho, Nebraska, Iowa, Ohio, New Jersey, New York, and now Minnesota. The Kennedy-Shanahan campaign has collected the signatures needed for ballot access in 19 states, totaling 278 electoral votes, 52% of the 538 total electoral votes nationwide. This is amazing. One more state here. So look, we're looking at a possible 19 states that are going to have another choice. If they don't want to vote for the man, Trump 2024, if they don't want to vote for Joe Biden, they have another great choice in Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the man, the myth, the legend, the Hulk Hogan of politics, going one-on-one against the Ric Flair of politics right here with some other dude named Joe in the background. This will be an interesting year, obviously. And that is just some great news. I'm so happy once again to see Kennedy back on the ballot in another state. It's getting a little dicey there, but we know that Kennedy was going to do it. There wasn't any doubt in his mind, and no doubt in my mind either. So let's now go and look at the map. I love looking at this map here. Find your state. You can see everything. All of these light purples are going to be turning dark purple very, very soon. They are all in play except for Rhode Island, DC, Wisconsin, and Louisiana. And as we talked about before, the reason why is because they're not even eligible to start getting people to sign up to get Kennedy's name on the ballot. I know they say get Bobby on the ballot. I just have a hard time calling him that. It's just a respectful thing. Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy, but to call him Bobby, unless I'm on a first name basis with him, and even then would be kind of odd, a disrespectful thing for me. Not that to say when I hear other people call him Bobby, I don't get disrespect. I don't feel like they're disrespecting Kennedy. It's just for me personally, I would not call him Bobby. So this is more great news. And 278 right now. That's obviously that's just the possible electoral votes that Kennedy could get. But this is a very significant number, and in a very different way. Yeah, the Libertarian Party will say, "Well, we're on the ballot in all 50 states," and they are. But like Trump was saying, yeah, keep your 3%. That's all you're going to get. And I'm curious to see what Kennedy does. How many electoral votes will Kennedy get on November 5th? That's what's going to really matter. There's a couple of states where there's early voting too. I think early voting starts in September, so we may even have some numbers as soon as then. It's going to be wild. I'm going to have to start paying more attention to that as we get closer, probably more towards August. I'll start looking at that for the early ballot, the early voting. And we'll see. But it all comes down to that Super Tuesday once again. You can RSVP for the live stream, the Recovering America live stream. If you have not already, please do so. This is going to be awesome. On June 15th, Saturday, this will be 2 p.m. Mountain Time, Recovering America. If you have not seen this is a powerful, powerful clip here. And I hope everyone will tune in and watch it live, however you can watch it. Watch it later on. It'll be out there, no doubt. Another great documentary. If you've seen Kennedy's documentary, the short documentary that he did on the border, Midnight at the Border, I think is what it was called, you get a real good idea that these guys know what they're doing. The filmmakers know exactly what they're doing. Some great filmmakers. Kennedy surrounds himself with a lot of great, talented people. And this is a very powerful topic that we need to talk about more. Let me see if I can play this.
From big cities to small towns, Americans are dying of drug overdoses in record numbers.
I gotta get the high quality. Let's see if it else.
From big cities to small towns, Americans are dying of drug overdoses in record numbers.
You got drug dealers around the corner and on the next block all selling fentanyl. And now, because of fentanyl, 2 people are dying a day from drug overdose in this city.
Wow, San Francisco.
Some are doing drugs, some are selling them, some are buying, and it's just constant.
70% of people who are in jail in the United States, they either have a serious mental illness, a substance use disorder, or both.
A person who's in active addiction is not their true self. He burglarized 10 homes.
I was a heroin addict for 17 years, just a complete dirtbag.
Drug offenses, burglaries, all the criminal stuff that goes along with being a drug addict.
My son, broken arm, 3 shots of morphine on the way to the hospital, a prescription for Percocet. Within 6 months, it turned into full-blown heroin addiction.
You're seeing people that are in their 20s now that look like they're 70 years old because they're using this drug that's just destroying them from the inside out.
There's nothing civil or right about letting a man or a woman slowly die like that.
This doorway right here is where I used to sleep most of the time when I was out here. These folks out here that you step over every day that are out on the street are human beings like you, and they have it within them to recover.
Recovery is possible, and we need a whole myriad of options for people.
I'm searching the country for the very best ideas and solutions to addiction and hopelessness.
My son continued to struggle in and out of treatment. His first real success with sobriety was at a horse ranch in Washington, where he was connected to the outdoors, he was connected to nature.
You've really changed your life. I always say to people everywhere, addicts are extraordinary people.
He's got an expanding empire here that is really, truly extraordinary.
The day they go out into the workforce, we have a job ready for them.
My children are back in my life, and people count on me today.
I was told that you were in recovery. Would you want to tell a little bit about your journey?
I started doing heroin when I was 15 years old, for 14 years.
The idea of someone who has walked the walk to help other people through their pain of addiction. Bobby, he can be our role model.
There is hope for our nation to heal the scourge of addiction. We just have to make it a national priority. And when I'm in the White House, we will.
Amen to that. Powerful. A very, very powerful clip there. So I hope people will watch that. We'll be watching that June 15th. Maybe we'll all watch it live together. Why not? It's a nice Saturday. So as far as the press, I believe that is all I wanted to cover for the Kennedy Shanahan website. There are some things on the news, the campaign news, some good articles. If you want to get caught up on that, there is a political article, RFK's pledges to end provocative China policies. So we know that's going to be good. I could read a little bit of that. You can also find on Newsweek, map shows states where RFK is on the ballot. And they're downplaying it a little bit. I think everybody is. And even Kennedy is kind of downplaying it to say, well, I mean, when you talk, we hear 19. We've been following 19. Well, technically it's only 9. And then we have 10 that are kind of waiting, that we're just waiting for the right moment or the right opportunity to turn in those ballots to make this happen. So however you want to look at it, it is 19 states done, one and done. And then we'll see what the next one will be. And hopefully those ones, when the window opens up for Louisiana, Wisconsin, Rhode Island, and the District of Columbia, that will be a no-brainer too. I'm sure they got the campaign ready, but they've already knocked out some of the big states. California, Texas, Florida, and now Minnesota. I mean, this is great news. It's just amazing. With all of the negative stuff that we're going to see, all of the things, all the negative press that is against the greatest president ever, President Donald J. Trump, aside from George Washington, the greatest elected president ever in the history here. Aside, all of the negative stuff that they are just trying to go after him. And even when Trump was on Dr. Phil the other day, and Dr. Phil was kind of saying, the problem with all of this stuff is people just think where there's smoke, there's fire. So they think, well, they're going after Trump, he must be guilty of something. And the crazy thing is when they find out he's not guilty of any of this stuff. And the problem may be just like what happened in 2020. They may not find out about that until after we vote. We'll see. I mean, if people don't get it by now, I don't know. I mean, if people don't see it, if they think Biden is the better choice, Biden is going to save this country, I don't know what to tell those people. I don't know how to help them, don't know how to reach them. I have really no interest in it, no interest in trying to deal with people like that. So they think Trump is the bad guy and he's, this evil person and all this stuff. Again, it's like, okay, go with whatever you think is right. Go with it. That's all I can say. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go where God leads me. I'm going to go where I think the best person is. And it made it tough because if Kennedy wasn't in the running, it would just be more about Trump. But for whatever reason, God has put Kennedy here. And I do pay close attention to that because there is a reason why Kennedy is in this running. And it's not as a joke. It's not as a spoiler. It's a candidate that we've wanted. It's a candidate that we need, that this country needs. Do we need him right now? It's nice to have two choices, by the way. Whereas a lot of people thought all choices were bad. And my view on this election, 2024, is we have two good choices. Choose wisely. That's all I can say on that. As Stone Cold Steve Austin said, that's all I got to say about that. All right, so moving along, let's go see if anything is happening in the world of Kennedy. You know, there always is. He's almost at 3 million followers here. We've got a lot of clips to play. Calling the baby boomers. Do you remember how good we had it when we were kids? We baby boomers are the last generation to have grown up when the American dream was alive and well. The state of our country today is not the America I want to pass on to my children and grandchildren, and I doubt it's a nation you want your kids to grow up in either. I'm running for president because I want to put our country back on the map towards peace, prosperity, and the promise of 1960s America. I invite you to attend a virtual Boomer Town Hall on Facebook on June 21st. Awesome. You know about that. I'll be there. And if you want to know more about me and my campaign policies, record and submit a video of yourself or a baby boomer. I can't even say that. Or a baby boomer, asking me a question. Pretty cool. I'll do that. See if my dad has any questions for him. I look forward to hearing from you. That is cool. I like that. I like how he's getting the people engaged. And he's really good at that. Let's play this. I can.
I want to turn it around. I want to
go back. Always make sure we got the best quality. Oh, they actually have a download video now too. That's cool. I haven't seen that before. Huh. I like it. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. They're getting better.
Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and I'm running as an independent candidate for President of the United States. Like nearly 70 million Americans, I'm a baby boomer. We're the last generation to have grown up when the American dream was alive and well. Since then, our country has deteriorated in so many ways. Do you remember when we were kids, a single wage earner could support a whole family, buy a home, save for retirement, even with just a high school education? Today, our middle class has been hollowed out. Chronic disease has overtaken the nation. The government is riddled with corruption, censorship, corporate influence, and we've been embroiled in one war after another, and they're bankrupting our country. That's not the America that I want to pass on to my children and to my grandchildren. I'm running for president because I want to turn it around. I want to put us back on that path toward peace, prosperity, and the promise of 1960s America. We boomers hold the memory of those days, so I'm asking you to join me in making them the future as well as the past. As a first step, I'd like to invite you to attend a virtual Boomer Town Hall later this month, live streamed on Facebook. If you want to know more about me and my campaign policies, please record and submit a video of yourself or a baby boomer you know asking me a question. I'll respond to as many as I can. I want to show how we can heal our nation. I look forward to hearing from you. God bless you, and God bless America.
Amen. That is awesome. Let's turn my fan on. It's so hot in here right now. That's great. There it is, the man. Now, turning our focus. Let me see if there is anything else on Twitter, any other recent latest Twitter posts that we need to pay some attention to. But make sure you follow him there. It's still really hard for me to call it.
Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
You know, I just can't. My mind just can't. I had enough trouble just calling it Twitter. Now that I'm calling it Twitter and getting used to Twitter being on Twitter, now all of a sudden it's X. So let's see. Countering misinformation equals controlling the narrative. WAPO pushed deliberate lies when the truth didn't fit the favored narrative. There it is right there. That's all I'm going to say about that. And that's really sad. That's some really sad stuff there. Let's see. Oh, here's something. Kennedy talking about President Trump, Joe Biden. Earlier today, from the cliffs of Normandy, President Biden invoked the memory and sacrifice of American soldiers in World War II. But then he went on to suggest that those dead soldiers would now want us to take the fight to Russia. Wow. And this is the quote, I guess, from Biden. Does anyone doubt that they would want America to stand up against Putin aggression here in Europe today? And Kennedy answers. The answer is yes, I do. As Jeffrey Sachs pointed out in his recent interview with Tucker, the United States and NATO have engaged in 30 years of provocation where we could not take peace for an answer. The situation in Ukraine today is not the same as World War II. The president of the United States is not the same as A president of the United States cannot blithely engage in a historical saber-rattling with a nuclear power. It endangers the world, damages our morale and intellectual standing, and dishonors the sacrifice of our soldiers. Peace goes arms in arms with the truth. I am the only candidate in this race who makes that a priority. Gotta like that. Post that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy, presidential candidate. That's great. All the volunteers. There's some more of what happened in Minnesota today. Very, very good news. So happy to see that for him. And there was something, I guess, in Florida. It became official today in Florida, too, that he's on the ballot. And those are some good stuff. More about the censorship. Okay. I think that's good enough there. What we got going on here? Meet and greets. Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay. All right. Well, there is that. Bumping it over to Truth Social just for a second here. I had heard about that clip about Biden, but I hadn't seen the clip or heard anyone talk about it, or Trump or Kennedy talk about it. So it's good to see them talk about it, more about the border. What do we got here? Make an impact. Yeah, he's got this Trump Force 47 thing going on. Another interactive poll. And I like how these polls like to keep Kennedy, or Trump loves to post these ones that put Kennedy at 2%. He focuses there. Trump does really not want Kennedy in the debates. I think Trump is not scared of it, but as a strategic move, I think Trump understands it's better to not have Kennedy there. So, anything else? Oh, just the same old good stuff here. This is good. I would play some of these UFC, but my video got blocked because I played something, just playing a replay of Sean Hannity or somebody else talking about the UFC that happened. But the UFC loves this guy. They love President Trump. That's all that needs to be said about that. All right. Okay. All good. Good. Like to hear it. Here it goes. Let's get into some videos because there were some really good videos. What is this one here? 227.
Trump's left the building. We can now project the winner of the presidential race. Donald Trump wins the presidency. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
We have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign, securing the border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president that's pretty damn impressive.
Breaking news
drugs out of Palm
The
Beach,
FBI
Florida.
has executed an unprecedented search warrant at President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The former president has both sides of the political aisle up
Is
in
a
arms.
dangerous and unstable moment in American history.
The Justice Department has just indicted former President Donald Trump.
For 7 years, they hated him, they targeted him, they hunted him.
This is the epitome of the abuse of the prosecutorial power to preempt political decisions.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again. America will always rise to every challenge and overcome every danger.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged. These types of things, I think, give him strength.
When I'm reelected, I will totally obliterate the deep state. As long as we have pride in our beliefs, courage in our convictions, and faith in our God, then we will not fail.
Beautiful piece of cinema. That was amazing. That was beautiful. I had no idea that he did that, and definitely I'm gonna need to save that. Won't let me. Okay, I'll worry about that later. Amazing. Okay, so then I'm gonna play a little bit of his speech from Turning Point CPAC in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, the other day. There's some good stuff here. Once I get it queued up, show this instead. I need like 4 hands here. And make sure we got the best quality. None of that 720 garbage. Let's get the 1080p. We'll play a little bit of this here. Randomly. A little random. Just a few more short little clips after this.
El Salvador, some of the other countries, they wouldn't take them back under any circumstances. They wouldn't take them back. I said, what do you mean? We put them in buses, they block the roads. We put them in planes, they put big planes on the runway so you couldn't land. They won't take them back. How long has that been going on for? 10 years, 12 years? It's been going on for a long time. I said, how much money do we pay those countries? Sir, we give them $750 million a year for economic development. Okay, you do. See, 750. Okay, as of effective immediately, inform them they're not getting the $750 million. That was in the evening. That was on a Thursday evening. On Friday morning, like early, 7:30 in the morning, I got almost simultaneously 3 calls, not coordinated, separate calls from the heads of the 3 countries. And I said, what's up? It's early in the morning. Sir, we understand that you're upset about something. Please, there must be a misunderstanding. I said, you won't take the criminals that you send over in caravans, and they have a lot to do with it. They put the people that they don't want in those caravans. You won't take those criminals back. And you're not getting any more money from the United States at all. Sir, there must be a misunderstanding. We would be honored to take back MS-13 criminals. It would be such, and we started sending them back by the thousands, But when crooked Joe Biden got in, he took the most secure border in U.S. history and he quickly turned it into the worst border nightmare, I believe, in the history of the world. There's never been a border where they allow 18 million people, and I think that's the real number as of now, 18 million people. In April, border crossings were up 1,000% compared to the same month last year. 1,000% compared to last year. And by the way, last year it was 1,000% compared to the abuse. There's never been anything. A guy like Sheriff Joe must be going crazy when he hears this. If one person got in, he'd go wild. One person. How do you feel about tens of thousands? How do you feel about millions of people? Millions of people. In total, Crooked Joe Biden has imported more illegal aliens than the populations of 40 out of our 50 states. And soon that's going to be a much higher number. It could even almost top. I think it's going to end up topping. I'll tell you what, if this guy got reelected, the country is finished. Your border is finished. You won't have a country anymore. It'll be a disaster. Just on this one issue, and we're not talking about nuclear proliferation. We're not talking about all the other issues that he has no idea what the hell he's talking about. You know, if you think about it, Ukraine being attacked by Russia would have never happened. Would have never happened. Just wouldn't have happened for a lot of reasons, including the fact that energy was much cheaper.
Love hearing that.
Russia makes its money with energy, basically.
Going to shut this down here right now, and I may come back later or may see you all soon. God bless you all. Remember, Jesus Christ loves you. Be nice to each other.